Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's video, we're going to be doing some design work. We're going to be wireframing and designing a welcome slash splash page and a sign in and a sign up page for an app. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to hop directly into the video. So I have the mockup app open right now, and as you can see here, I'm just throwing together some paper wireframes. I got the welcome page, the sign up page going right now, and I am just copying and pasting some of these elements right now because you really don't want to spend time redrawing the same thing when you can just use the magic wand and copy and paste. So here I've got all 4 of the pages that I'm going to be using for this design today, and I'm just going to export those as images, and then I'm going to import those into Figma like you see me doing right now. Once I've got those screens lined up, I'm going to keep them there as a reference. Then I'm going to import some iPhone 13 Pro frames, and I'm going to name each one of them just so that they don't get lost. In case I need to go back and edit, I can just go search them by name. Alright, so once I have my frames named, I'm going to go ahead and round them, and I'm starting to work on the first 2 buttons. And so the way I like to create buttons is to create a line of text, add my text for my button, and then use auto layout and center it there. I've just created the first placeholder logo image, and like I said, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it. And I'm also going to be copying and pasting the buttons that I have here too, so I don't have to recreate them every time. I can just drag and place them onto the next frame. And so with that in mind, it's really easy to build all of these frames because you really are just copying a lot of the same elements from one screen to the next and then just editing them as need be. Here I'm working on the text fields for the email and username and the password part of our sign-in page here as well. I'm going to go ahead and lower the opacity on the text that goes inside the text field just so that we can create a sense of hierarchy. And lastly, I am working on the sign up page, which is very similar to the sign in page. The only difference is that we're going to add a field for inserting your name because that is part of the information that an app would request of new user. Email and password and a username. So once we're done with our wireframes, we're going to go ahead and create 4 new frames and name those as well. And now what I'm doing is I'm going through the illustrations plugin to try to find inspiration for an app, just because I didn't have an app in mind when I started this project. So no problem though, we're not going to spend too much time. We're just going to be browsing the illustrations app, and here I've found a design that I really like. It's a cyclist, so I've decided that we're going to create a cycling app for social networking with other cyclists. I've come up with the name Bikely out of a couple names that I had, and here I'm just going through the fonts that are available on my laptop, and I'm picking one that I think goes well with the theme of my bike here. And I actually spent way too much time on this. Usually I would not suggest you spend so much time trying to pick the perfect app, but I just spent a couple minutes picking one, and so I've picked the app that I want to use, and I added the motto find your people, because it is a social networking app for cyclists. So now that I have the logo, I've created a component and I've named it, and now I'm adding my buttons that are ending up on my final design. And for the blue color that you see there, I just used the color dropper tool to match the color, and now I'm using the Unsplash plugin to pick an outdoor themed image. I've lowered the opacity, and now I've begun working on the second page as well. And here I decided that I think I wanted to go with a higher opacity, and instead of a white background like the first image, I've gone ahead and decided that an 80% opacity with a black image underneath gives the best look. I've then changed the logo font to white so that it provides some good contrast. And now I'm moving on to my second of last screen, which is the sign in page here as well. and I'm just working on the typography, making sure that there is some contrast. I've decided to lower the opacity on the text fields just so that the focal point is the beautiful image and the logo on the app, so it doesn't distract from that text field. Lastly, now I'm working on the final frame of this project here, and I'm just making sure that I'm copying the same style of text so that there is no confusion or there's no distraction, and that there is consistency between the typefaces for this app. And now I'm going to go ahead and lower the opacity for these text fields as well, align them, make sure that they're centered, make sure that they're visible. Here I changed how bold the text. I went from regular to medium just because I thought it would provide more contrast. Now what I'm doing is that I'm copying a iOS style bar at the top from a UI kit that I really like to use. So after we are done with our hi-fi mockups, we're going to create a design board that we can then use to upload to Dribble or Behance or your online portfolio. And so I've added my favorite mockup that I use, and then I just simply export each. But there we go. We have gone from hand-drawn wireframes to digital wireframes to our hi-fi mockups. And then lastly, we have created our design page right here. If you guys like that, thank you so much for sticking until the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for plenty more videos like this. Thank you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one.